Hello. Okay, he's been quiet all morning. And of course, as soon as I go live, he wants to make an appearance. Happy Monday, everyone. Let me spit my gum out so I'm not chomping. My husband would hate if I was chomping while live. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what you need to open a microblading business or permanent makeup business. Okay, so come here, Kingsley. Come here. Just lay down. There you go. All right. Okay, so I'm just gonna give me a minute and we'll get started here. All right. Okay, so basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to start off by just explaining how I started my business, okay? So I started my business, what year are we in? 21. So I started my business, I think it was 5 years ago or 6 years ago. I can't remember exactly, but I had no idea at the time how this business was going to grow. So it started off really basic and simple. I found out about microblading. I thought it was amazing. I got the service done and then I wanted to learn. So I did a training, which was horrible. And if you've watched any of my videos, you already know my experience with my microblading training, or at least my first one. So because of my terrible experience getting started, I was still kind of self-teaching a lot of the craft. So I didn't feel confident enough to just go out there and get my own studio or go work for someone else. So it wasn't even really like a thought process. It kind of just evolved this way. I started practicing at home and I decided like I needed to practice on, real people. So the first thing I did is I lived in my great grandma's old house in LA and it was a 2-bedroom. I transformed the empty bedroom into a studio. So the first thing I got was a table. You need obviously some sort of massage table. Now, I got mine on Craigslist, I think, and I got really lucky. It was a brand new white tattoo table. It was perfect. And it came, most of them will come with you, or you can buy them with the stool, the matching stool. But this one I got on Craigslist for $40. The girl even drove it to me. And actually, she didn't even make me pay her because I ended up just, I think, waxing her brows or giving her some sort of wax deal. And she gave me this table. But you can find some on Craigslist, or you can go on Amazon and spend $100 on a massage table. Personally, I think a massage table is the easiest, most comfortable. If you're thinking about like ergonomically, it's just more comfortable. But you can spend about $100 if you're buying it brand new. So I had my bed and my stool. And then because I am an esthetician and I, had all my stuff, I was using a mag lamp, which let me tell you right now, a mag lamp is not the type of light you want to use. I found it was really hard to see. And I didn't look through the actual mag lamp. So you want to get a light. So the big ticket items that you're probably going to have to, or that you're going to have to buy, is the table, stool, your light. The light is the one you actually want to invest in. And if you're part of my microblading training group on Facebook, I do get lights for you guys at a discounted rate when I buy them in bulk. But the first one I think I got was the Glam Core, and that is like $220, I believe. So it's the double head light. Um, that double head light is so much better than the single head because you can get light from both angles. So that is probably going to be the thing you spend the most money on. So I had that, my bed, my stool, my lamp, and then I got a medical tray that I've got new off Amazon, and I think those are like 40 or 50 bucks. So right there, I think altogether, I really didn't spend that much. Like I said, I got the table for free. The lamp was really the only thing that I bought, and the tray. So I started off really small. You really don't need a lot because you're still trying to get comfortable working on clients. The one thing that I did get, and I think this is important, and I've had people ask me about this, is I got my health permit. So basically, for each state, there's going to be, and counties, there's going to be different regulations for microblading. So you may have, like in the state of California, or at least at the time in the state of California, microbladers did not need a tattoo license, but what they need is a health permit. So in the county of Los Angeles, you needed a health permit. So basically, this is when they check your room to make sure you're practicing safety, sanitation, your room's clean, all of that, which is really important. But I found a loophole, or I should say, my mother found a loophole because I didn't have a studio yet. But I wanted this health permit just to have some sense of credibility, safety, sanitation, all of that. You can get your health permit. You can actually get your health permit without having a studio yet. So this is only in the state of California, or more specifically, the county of Los Angeles. So just called the health department and told them that I was looking for a space, and they issued me a health permit. So you will need to get a health permit depending on what county you're in. But I had an issued health permit, and part of those rules are that you need to have a sink in there. So I actually had my mom put in a working running sink into my home office so that I was legit, and I was working out of my house. I wasn't insured yet. This isn't necessarily what I recommend. I wouldn't say that don't get insurance. But I will tell you that there's like this overlap, right? Of when you're first practicing, you're working on some models, pretty much you're working for free, and you're still learning the craft and, trying to figure out if you want to get your own space or work for someone. So for me, I wasn't ready to invest in the insurance yet because I was still just working on clients for free. I know a lot of people want to do everything kosher and do it the legit way, and it is very important to have insurance. But until you are seeing paying clients, I don't think that it's something you necessarily need to invest in. Now, that's not to say not to get it, because there are a couple points that I want to touch on. But when I first started, I did not have it. But the thing that I did have, and this won't cost you anything, is I started a Instagram account and a Yelp account. Now, Instagram is impossible to, and not impossible, but it's very hard to gain traction with all their algorithms. It's like they don't want you to get followers because they make money off of you boosting your post, off of you spending money on ads and boosting your post. So what I would recommend is starting a Yelp account, because if you don't start one, someone can start one for you. So start a Yelp account, because this is where, when you Google microbladers near me, what pops up? Yelp, right? And it's going to show you everything that's by you. So I started a Yelp account, and I can't tell you how much that grew my business. That is completely free. Yelp will try to get you to spend money. Don't do it. You don't need to. They will harass you. Just politely tell them that it is not in your budget and that you don't need it. But Yelp grew my business a lot. And the way I did that is, anytime I would do someone's browse, I would ask them to leave a review. It does not hurt. The worst thing someone could say is no. But basically, I just said, hey, I'm starting a new business and I'm trying to grow my business. Would you mind just leaving a review on Yelp? So I think I had within like my first year or like first 6 months, like 16 reviews. And which is saying a lot because I think I get one now, like I get like maybe 2 or 3 a year just because I forget to ask people now. But the more reviews you have, the more credibility your business is going to have, and the more traction you're going to get. So that's free. But basically, you just need the basic things, which is the table, stool, light, medical tray, obviously your training, and safety. So you also need to wait for them to get a hold of you. I would recommend using a different phone number because there is, if you haven't seen one of my videos on boundaries, it's really important to create boundaries with your clients. And if you're just always available to them, they will contact you always, whenever. I was 45 minutes late to New Year's Eve dinner because I was on the phone with a client for about an hour. And I didn't know how to talk to the client then, but now I do. And now I know that there's boundaries, unless it's like a total emergency, which I'm pretty sure there's not huge emergencies with microblading. But unless it's a total emergency, your clients can wait until business hours. So I use GoDaddy's phone number. It's like $10 a month, but Google Voice, you can download an app and you can actually use, I think it's Google Voice, and you get a phone number. I would recommend getting a phone number for your business. So that's free, Google Voice. Okay, once you decide to open your studio, I was just talking about when I worked out of my house, but once you decide to open a studio, there are different options. The one option that I recommend to my students, especially the ones who want to open their own business, like they don't want to go work for someone else, is there are a ton of these lofts and studio spaces. They're awesome because you're surrounded by a bunch of other people in the same industry, hair, nails, skin, massage, tattoo, all of that. I know I'm in Missouri, but I know in Missouri there is salon lofts. There's Sola salons, which I know they have that in California too. In California, there's Salon Republic. There are all these different lofts or studios where you can rent, and you will have to sign a lease. But those are great because you have a maintenance guy, you have Wi-Fi, you don't have to pay electricity, trash, none of that. So that's a good option. So once you open your studio, there are certain requirements. The first question I always get from a lot of my students is, once I get certified, will I be able to microblade? And I hate to say this, but the answer is, it depends. I mean, I don't know. It depends where you live. So if in the state of Missouri, if you live in Missouri, it's a simple search. So if you are trying to find out if you can microblade, and microblading it, so you're not using the permanent makeup machine, it's all done manually. So if you're trying to figure out what the regulations are, do your own research. That is my number one tip, is do your own research. Do not go on Facebook or ask a friend, because you will get a lot of different answers. I know right now there are so many rumors, and one day I had like 5 students all text or email me, freaking out like, oh my gosh, I heard the laws are changing in Missouri and you need a tattoo license and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, where did you get this information from? And they're like, oh, I saw it on Facebook. I mean, it took me 3 seconds to look online, the Missouri Professional Business Registration, and I was on the Board of Tattooing website, and it's still not regulated. So you want to just check with your county or your state and see what the regulations are. Do you need a tattoo license? Usually that would be the license you would need, is a tattoo license. And depending on the state, and depending on, come on, Kingsley, come here. And depending on the state, you can get that tattoo license different ways. So again, for example, in the state of Missouri, you have to do an apprentice. So that means you're working under a tattoo artist, and you have to do 300 hours. So you want to look at the requirements, what licenses you need. You want to get a business license. So you want to go to the city that your business is located in and get a business license. It's very easy. It's annoying, but once you get it, it's super easy. Basically, they want to take some money from you. They want a certain percent of your sales. So it's never more than I want to say $100 or $90. It's really not that expensive. But a business license. So yeah, your whatever license, whether it's a tattoo license or whatever it is, a business license. Sorry, baby. A health permit, if that is required. Again, you're going to need to check for your, that's awesome. What are the rules in Arizona? If you know, if you have to have a tattoo license or not. A lot of states are really, microblading is still so new that a lot of states it's not regulated. And be careful for that, because this is my theory, okay, you guys? I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, but this is my theory that microblading, where microblading is not regulated, let's say you need a tattoo license, that if you are microblading, let's say I've been microblading out here for 4.5 years, maybe. I think that's about right. I have my tattoo license, but if I didn't, they're going to have to grandfather people in. They can't just take a whole group of people who have been working, paying taxes and all of this, and tell them, oh, now you have to go do a 300-hour apprenticeship. That would put people out of business. I'm not saying this is fact. This is just my opinion, but this is what they did for other, industries. So, for example, when tattooing wasn't regulated yet in the state of Illinois and Missouri, they grandfathered people in. So basically you just had to show, I've been working for this long, I've already done this many hours and seen this many clients. Okay. So as long as you're practicing safety and sanitation. So like I said, you're getting your training in, you have a bloodborne pathogen certificate. So that is something you do online. And I will put that link to the one that I have my students do. It's an OSHA approved bloodborne pathogen training. It's online. It's pretty simple and straightforward. I think it's like $27. Yeah, sorry, I was reading. Yeah. So for some, I know in Illinois and I guess Arizona too, some you just need a tattoo establishment license, which that is done online. I know in Illinois it's done online and you pay a fee. But yeah, so for me, I have a tattoo establishment license, but my actual tattoo license, I had to do an apprenticeship, which is actually something that I am going to start doing. So for anyone in the area, I have been looking for my dream space. I have been in a small studio for a long time, and I have outgrown it. I outgrew it probably pre-COVID, but with COVID and everything, I just didn't want to make any drastic changes. But I am going to be offering apprenticeships for people who need them or who want to get their tattoo license. So right now I have one, Caitlin, my employee, she is actually getting her hours in to get her tattoo license. But yeah, the tattoo establishment, that is just done online. It's pretty simple. And you just have to pay a fee. Usually it's $100 to $200 for every year or every 2 years. I forget. But yeah, so you want to make sure you have your requirements. So the first thing is your requirements. The second thing is your basic equipment that you need. The third thing is safety. Now for safety, I'm going to say, earlier I said that when I first started, I was not insured and I was working for free, which is why I said I wasn't. But insurance, this is something you want to cover your butt. Okay. So I actually pulled out my insurance, and today I'm going to do a little bit of research. I couldn't do it over the weekend so that I could explain this to you guys, but I am going to kind of do some research and see if I can find some cheaper insurances or providers. Right now, let's see, hold on. I just had this out. Okay. I was insured by 2 different companies. One was, it was American Family Brokerage. One of my girlfriends is a broker, so she did it for me, and it was 1,500 or 1,550 for the year. Now, I was really like, oh my gosh, that's so much money, but it's for the whole year. Most business insurance or liability insurance has to be prepaid for the year. But when you're doing your research, I would just, compare apples to apples, get quotes from different companies and see which one is more cost efficient or effective, and which one has a better reputation, because you don't want an insurance company who isn't going to pay out when you need it. So the other one, the new one that I use is, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this right, but it's let's see, Hiscox. I don't even know. But it's the same price. I pay, let's see, I have a professional liability limit of 2 million, claim limit of $1 million, which is pretty standard. And I pay, I want to say it again, it's 1,500 for the year. Now this is based off of the amount of clients I see, and I also do trainings. So you will want to, provide the information of what it is you do. But you will want insurance. Now that is going to be expensive, but it's one of those, it's like the one thing that you're spending a lot of money on. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on advertisement because there's so much free advertisement out there. It just doesn't make sense. And the best advertisement, honestly, is word of mouth, which is why I said start a Yelp account and get people to start leaving reviews. No, I didn't go over that. So what does insurance cover? So this is liability insurance, meaning let's say I were to injure someone. Basically, that is what you're insured for. But if you own your building, if you have your own business and you own the building, or I'm sorry, even if you're just leasing the building, you'll probably want insurance for that. So if someone were to trip and fall on your establishment or at your establishment, you would want insurance for that. So this is liability insurance for the art that you're doing. Does that make sense? I think that was for Elaine. And like I said, I will put the company in the link. I can actually write it right now. I was trying to this morning. Yeah, worst case scenario. I mean, honestly, I've never had anything, even I've maybe had like 3 unhappy clients, and none to the point where we had a falling out or, they would threaten me with anything, but there is always going to be that person. So, Elaine, a perfect example. I am in a studio and one of the girls near me, she does hair. Okay. It wasn't even her client. It was someone else's client. They brought their client to her and they wanted her to look at the color because they had a question for her. So she was looking at it was an older woman. She was looking at her hair color. And when the woman got up, she slipped and fell. And the first thing she said is, "Are you insured?" And so she basically sued her, and that's what her insurance covered. She slipped and fell. And that was just getting out of her chair. So it wasn't even her client. So insurance will cover you for that. I was also looking on my insurance. Hold on, there was something that I saw that was interesting. Where was it? Oh gosh, I can't find it right now. But yeah, I will attach in the description. The company I use, but also the company that Caitlin uses, because when I was looking over, oh, here it is. So yeah, okay, this is what it covers. So any like HIPAA violations. So let's say, you are using a dirty needle, like cross-contamination. And let's say someone, I mean, God forbid, hopefully this never would happen, but let's say someone had like some, disease or something, and you use the same needle on someone else and spread, that bloodborne pathogen, and that person suing you. So a HIPAA violation. It also, this is what I thought was interesting. It also puts any sexual abuse or misconduct. So that is also like, let's say you had a client and they said that you were sexually inappropriate, that would be covered also. I thought that was kind of interesting. I never even thought about that. Like my brain just doesn't go there. But yeah, so if something were to happen, like if you, I used to wax at my studio, and I just don't anymore. I don't offer those services, but I did have men come in and get waxed. And a few years ago, I had a man ask for a manzillion. And I don't know why, but for some reason, I didn't feel comfortable. I've done them plenty of times, but because I worked by myself, and there was no one there to just like, be my witness, that I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. So, use your best judgment, but it does also cover that. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure what the, that's not HIPAA. I'm not sure what that one is about, if that was a question or a statement, but if you could explain, that would be helpful. Thank you. But anyway, so insurance is important. It might be expensive, but it's way worth it. The other company that I wanted to tell you about, and I'll write it down just in the comments, was Associated Skin Care Professionals. And this is the one that Caitlin uses. The reason why I'm telling you this one, I have not actually called them. I haven't used them personally. So like I said, do your own research, but hers is much cheaper. I'll put it like that. And I don't know why, like I said, I couldn't call over the weekend, but I do want to call today and find out. But yes, this one is another company that insures for microblading, because not all insurance companies will insure for microblading. Yeah. So I have my own insurance, and the place that I lease has their own insurance. So like I was saying, that insurance covers like the building. I insure myself. So it's almost like with cars, right? Like if you're driving someone else's car, you show them your insurance, right? So the insurance follows the person. So you would want your own insurance, your own liability insurance. And you could, like, for Caitlin, she works for me. I have on her insurance policy put additional insured, and they have my name. So Boss Brows LA and Christy, and they have Salon Lofts, which is the business that owns that we lease from. So yeah, basically. But yeah, so you'd still want to pay for insurance. Now, if you're, I don't know what your situation is at the salon that you're talking about, but thank you. I'm not sure what the situation is with the salon you're talking about, but I would always recommend insurance. And like I said, I will have to double check, so I don't want to give you false information, but I think she only pays like $300 a year. Okay. So that's a big difference from my 1,500. And it could be because I teach also, I don't know, but I did put Caitlin's insurance company also. So I will add that to the description. I don't think I can do that while I'm on here. So I'll do it when I'm done. So I'll add the two insurance companies, one that I use, one that Caitlin uses. I will put the OSHA approved bloodborne pathogen online training that I recommend my students do. I can maybe link also, I have a video, it's an old video, I may need to update it, but I have a video on the tools and the equipment that you need when you first get started. But yeah, basically, the top things are your equipment, the things that you absolutely need. And like I said, the light, table, stool, medical tray, that's like the big things. The requirements. So you got to check with the state and county that you're in. So that would be, your, if you need a tattoo license, your health permit, business license, tattoo license or tattoo establishment license, any type of license that you need, and bloodborne pathogen training certificate, which that needs to be done yearly. So you need to renew that. And like for some tattoo licenses, you need to do CPR training every 2 years, which I would just recommend doing that anyway. I thought to myself the other day that it's kind of scary to think that if something happened, does everyone know how to perform CPR? Like the chest compressions and blowing air into someone's mouth. You should definitely know how to do that. Or how to just handle a situation, like if someone faints or anything like that. Safety is really important. Hold on, I'm just going to read a couple of these. Thank you. Is that Connecticut CT? Gosh, I am so bad. You need an apprentice and 2,000 hours. You need a license for sure. Yeah, that 2,000 hours seems like a lot. I mean, California seems to be really strict on a lot of things, like with their safety and with their sanitation, and they have less hours than Missouri. So that's a lot, 2,000 hours. I mean, that's like a full year of working for someone. Where did you get that information from? The state, or the tattoo board? And can you get grandfathered or not grandfathered? Is there oh my gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? Hold on, it will come to me. It's not coming to me right now, but it will come to me. Okay, let me see. I don't think so. When a studio says you need your own liability insurance, you don't have to worry about getting coverage for the location as well. I mean, if they just talk to them, ask them, do they have their own insurance? Does the building have their own insurance? I'm sure they do. But what you're covering is the work that you're doing. Okay. Sorry, guys. That's weird. North Nevada and South Nevada has different rules. Yeah, sorry. I think I meant OSHA when I said a HIPAA. If I said a HIPAA, I think I was talking about OSHA when I was talking about the bloodborne pathogen certificate. So sorry if I confused anyone. Okay. So anyway, you guys, anyway, let's just get back to this. Sorry if I confused you. I think I said OSHA or HIPAA instead of OSHA, and I did not mean to. But yes. So the last thing, because I don't want to get too much on like advertising and stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, that is actually important. Someone said HIPAA requires we keep our patients' medical and contact information private. Insurance liability policies will cover accidents and injury caused by procedures. Yeah, if you have a tattoo license, like I have to keep all my paperwork. So what I do actually, because my paperwork, like all of my medical forms and medical history and all that, it was really getting big. So what I did is I got an app called, it's like DocuSign, but it's called Sign Now because it's much cheaper. I believe it's only $6.99 a month. It may have gone up to $11.99 a month, but DocuSign is like $39 a month, or it's like $30 or $40 a month. It's the same thing. But yeah, all of your stuff, like, so you can take a document and send it to people and they can sign, they can write the date, they can do all of that. So yeah, Sign Now, and I'll just add this real quick. Sign Now is a great app used for signing medical documents, because then you don't have to keep tons of paper. And I confirmed with the tattoo board that this is fine. You can do everything electronically now. But yes. State and the training places I've gone to have told us that. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's a little more than a year. Connecticut, wow. But the one thing I did, and I cannot think of the word right now. Oh, reciprocity. In Connecticut, if you have a tattoo license in another state, can you get reciprocity? Because I know, like, for some states they don't allow it, but like when I was in Missouri, I was able to get reciprocity in California because I already had a license. I just had to show that I had worked with my license for at least 3 years, and then I got reciprocity. So you might be able to find a loophole that way. 13 months seems like a long time, but I don't know. Maybe they just had a lot of bad things happen. I'm not sure. But yeah, so someone asked, how do I improve advertising? I have some videos on that, on how to get new clients and, network and all of that. But basically, just real quick, the thing I said earlier in this video was start a Yelp, because if you don't start one, someone will start one for you. Start a Yelp and start asking everyone to please leave a review. Reviews, people like reviews. They like to know that, when I see a company on Yelp and they don't have any reviews, I kind of think that they're fake or they're not legit. So get reviews. But Yelp is free. Don't pay for all that extra stuff. You don't need it. But get a Yelp. Start networking with people, and word of mouth is the best. Just try to, I used to walk into other salons and pass out my card because we were in like the same industry, the beauty industry, and I would give them my card and I would offer them a discount. So I'd offer any person in the industry 50% off, because I knew that if they had their brows done and they were doing someone's hair, for example, that someone's going to ask them, oh, who did your brows? Or your brows look great. And I actually got a lot of clients that way, was offering 50% off to people in the beauty industry. But anyway, so you guys, I have to go. I just wanted to give a couple announcements. I know I've been a little MIA on YouTube, and that is because honestly, I've just been really busy. I got married, my sister got married, and now we have the holidays. But I am planning on having 2 videos out a month starting in January. So I will get back into that. The other thing is, right now I am working on an online brow mapping course. This course is going to be amazing. Like, I've already started pre-selling it. I'm just still editing all the videos, but basically I'm going to teach you all the different techniques for brow mapping. I'm going to go over my theory of symmetry and how to shape eyebrows, but I'm also going to go over things like, how to keep your shape during the service, how to brow map on oily skin, how to brow map on someone with like a higher Fitzpatrick scale, so like a 5, how to brow map men, what to do when someone comes back with for their touch-up, because brow mapping for a touch-up is different than brow mapping for initial appointment, depending on how much retention they had or how little retention they had. So this brow mapping course is something that I've been wanting to do for years, and I'm really excited about it. So right now you can pre-order it. It should be ready in December. So in the next few weeks, I will launch it. But right now you can pre-order it on my website for $300. It will come with some brow mapping tools, just like the basic things that I use every day, like brow mapping string, caliper, my favorite brow mapping pencils, and a workbook with, like, practice sheets in there. but normally it will be $399 for now. For now, if you pre-order, it's $300. So on my website, if you want to go check that out, you can. So that's bossbrowsela.com, and just go under the online shop area. But until then, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope I answered your questions. In the chat portion, I did put the 2 companies for the insurance. So like I said, do your own research. Always do your own research and, compare apples to apples and get quotes. And yeah, good luck with everything. Happy holidays. I love you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. And I'll see you later. I will put my website in here, but I will add more. .com. There's my website, but I will put the video. Yes, I'm going to save the video, but I will also add to the description a couple things, okay? If you guys have any questions, just put it in the comment, or you can always reach me on Instagram. My Instagram is bossbrowsela also. Have a great day. Have a great week. Happy holidays. Thanks so much, guys.